Barikalus dankerner, Bekerhatin Havalno, hoş geldiniz arkadaşlarımız, merhaba, ayuha, lastikal, galosarisa tefili, yev pari galuzd ankerner, which is to say, welcome friends. Wherever you're joining us from, whatever time it is for you, and whether you're on Zoom, watching the Facebook live stream, or rewatching later on our YouTube channel. My name's Nick Matheu, and I'm the program manager at the Armenian Institute in London. And it's my real pleasure to welcome you all to the event tonight and to introduce it. This event, this online concert, is part of the 20th anniversary celebrations for the Armenian Institute. We turned 20 this year, founded in 2001. And my dear colleagues, Tatiana Deravadisyan and Richard Murad-Anushian will be talking a bit more about this just shortly. But just beforehand, I'm going to talk a little bit about the thinking behind the event today and a couple of other introductory matters. So the entire dedicated program to celebrate 20 years of the Armenian Institute has been designed to platform and to focus in on a few of the key pillars that have sustained us in the last 2 decades. And tonight we're celebrating 2, maybe the most important, 3 if you include the music. And that is diaspora and neighbours. The concert tonight is called The Notes That Bind Us, a musical celebration of 20 years of the Armenian Institute, diaspora and neighbours. Music, perhaps more than anything, except perhaps food, reveals the deeply interwoven roots of all the peoples of the region. And these roots have been strong enough to sprout new shoots wherever Armenians and their historic neighbours have spread around the globe. Although these movements and migrations are often born of economic dislocation, ethnic cleansing, and genocide, the new tapestries of life woven in the diaspora show the repeated ability of Armenians and all the peoples of the region to respond to these traumatic experiences by making something new, grounded in the old, but more than simply a transported fossil, and full of an even richer vitality, colour, and as we'll see tonight, resonant sound. So the event tonight is designed to celebrate all of this. And I want to thank all of the artists who have taken part for either recording new videos, especially for the evening, or for giving their permission to share older live recordings and music videos. The ongoing situation with COVID-19 meant that we decided not to try and have an in-person concert. And for that reason, it won't have the same quality as a live event. But we decided that we wanted to have an event that it was as live as it could be, an event where we were in a room together, where you could see us with all our colour talking rather than pre-recording, so that we could get that intimate feel of being together to share music. So I hope that you've plugged in your best speakers or headphones if you're watching this alone. And please do use the chat if you're on the Zoom or the comments on Facebook to let us know where you're joining from and how you're finding the event, how you're enjoying it. Because we really want to recreate that feeling of being all together. We also want to say that this is only the start. Not least because tonight we'll be joined by musicians from across the global Armenian community, both diaspora in the Middle East, Armenia itself and around the world, but also neighbours from Kurds, Alevis, to Turks, to Greeks, to Palestinian Arabs. But there are many other communities, key communities missing, including Jews, Iranians, Georgians, Russians, and many more. So we want to make sure that we continue in the same spirit and have more events that bring together the different communities. And take that, if you're interested in these kinds of initiatives, as a call to get involved. You can message me anytime at nick@armenianinstitute.org.uk. And just finally, today, we, like all of you, were shaken by the new news of conflict and incursions into the territory of the Republic of Armenia. More deaths after a bitterly difficult year in which we've experienced all too many deaths and conflicts from the region. We did discuss whether it was appropriate to continue with the event today in the light of this, and we decided that it was, that these kinds of events only make evenings like this more important, to connect us, to remind us of how much we have in common, how much more we have in common than we differ. And we want to see it as a reassertion of the right of Armenians in Armenia itself, as well as in Artsakh and Karabakh, to live freely and with dignity with all the other peoples of the region in all of our historic lands. So with that said, welcome again, and I'll hand over to Richard and Tatiana to talk about AI's 20th anniversary.
Thank you, Nick. Good evening, everybody. My name is Tatiana Ara Dinkjian. I'm a trustee of the Armenian Institute. And as Nick mentioned, this event is in celebration of our 20th anniversary this year, and it's been an incredible journey for us so far. In 2001, a group of friends decided that London was an ideal place to begin a new Armenian organization that would make Armenian history and culture a living experience, opening our culture to the wider British community. The name Armenian Institute, or Haig Yazdjian, was chosen to reflect the hope that this bringing together of people and ideas would take on a purposeful structure and longevity beyond the early casual connections. It's fair to say the hard work has helped AI become the UK's primary hub for Armenian culture and arts. From humble beginnings as a team of dedicated volunteers, we've matured into a leading diaspora organization run by talented staff members with the support of trustees and advisors. This growth has only been possible with the support of our friends, benefactors, and communities, our AI family, and that's many of you. My fellow trustee, Richard, who will tell you more about our recent accomplishments. Richard.
Thank you very much, Tatiana. My name is Richard Noora Shakur. I'm a trustee and treasurer of the Armenian Institute. I'd like to just spend a couple of minutes just walking folks through some of the major milestones that AI achieved in the last couple of years. We moved into new premises in London, bright, airy, light premises in a vibrant part of London in Farringdon. By virtue of the new premises, we also reassembled our library, and our library is back in stock, archives. It's growing. Our library now boasts 8,000 volumes. It ranks amongst the largest private Armenian libraries in Europe. And it is out there for scholars and people to use it. Finally, also, we've had a number of new additions to the AI team that have brought with them some wonderful skill sets and experiences which not only complement, but already enhance what AI is trying to do. That with the digitalization of the library and our podcasts, we are gradually evolving into a global cultural organization. Tatiana?
Thank you, Richard. Your donation, however big or small, will ensure that we can continue in our mission to make Armenian history and culture a living experience for people of all ages and backgrounds, to connect with our neighbours, historic and present, to host sometimes difficult but always important conversations, and to provide a platform for underrepresented and marginalized experiences in Armenian and related communities. All funds raised will go directly towards supporting the wider program of innovative, engaging, educational, and timely events, which we pride ourselves on in keeping our library and archives accessible to the entire community. We hope that you will consider giving us a donation today. it's events like this events like this make it possible for us to access a wider community, but also your support allows us to put on more events like this, and hopefully in the near future in person as well. There is a link in the chat, and you can go to our GoFundMe page to make a donation there. Thank you. I would like to now move on to the program of the event, and I am honored to present our host and artistic director for our concert tonight, Ara Dinkjian. He doesn't really need any formal introductions except to say he is a treasured Armenian American musician and songwriter and considered one of the best oud players. I'm going to actually allow Richard to share his history with Ara, the notes that bind them, as I know there's a fun story around that. Richard?
Thanks again, Tatiana, and hello again, Ara. Yes, I have the pleasure of, we go back quite some time. It actually, the backdrop of this is our fathers were both friends. They knew each other, they were friends, and they both grew up in that Armenian cultural milieu in New York that blossomed in New York in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. I have the pleasure of first crossing paths with Ara in 1964 at the New York World's Fair. Now, for those folks that are unfamiliar with World's Fairs, okay, this was a big deal. These things were held every 4 or 5 years. And at the New York World's Fair in 1964, Armenia actually had a pavilion. And amongst the various performances and shows and so forth, Ara played the dumbeg in an orchestra and a band. And I was part of an Armenian folklore dance group, which danced the traditional Anatolian dances of historic Armenia. My career sort of peaked then, but someone else's blossomed over the years. So it is with that in mind that it gives the Armenian Institute and myself tremendous pleasure in introducing you and handing it over to Ara Dinkjian. Ara?
Thank you so much, Richard. You know, over the years, I've been contacted by organizations around the world to participate in events or concerts. And frankly, so many times I really don't know who these people are. So I kind of rely on friends who might guide me as to who are these people and should I indeed participate. And in the case of the Armenian Institute, I confess I was not aware of them, but my dear friend, the poet Lola Kundakchan, told me, Ara, these are good people. We need to work with them. So that indeed, when they contacted me, I was, to say pleasantly surprised is not strong enough. When I was introduced to the various people who work there, and I say I was surprised because, frankly, most of the Armenian organizations around the world that I've dealt with had a us and them mentality, but the Armenian Institute seemed to have a we mentality. And indeed, this project, this program tonight, in recognizing our neighbors, is exactly the kind of project that I am proud to be involved with. Apparently, they knew that from my work and have honored me to host the evening. And they're right. This is exactly what I believe in, because while I am very well aware of my history and my identity as an Armenian, and of course very proud of it, before I'm an Armenian, I'm a human being. And that is the emphasis in my life, in the way I try to raise my children, and certainly in my music. And apparently the Armenian Institute agrees with this philosophy, and therefore I encourage any viewers, if they agree also, to support the Armenian Institute. This is their 20th anniversary. This is an opportunity for us to show the appreciation for what they're doing. And this project is something that I'm very proud to be involved with. Now, that said, let's start by watching the first video, which is coming from a tar player in Hayastan, in Armenia, named Mikhail Voskanyan. He honored me a few years ago recording my piece Homecoming, and I realized that the tar being a fairly ancient instrument, Mikhail has brought it, in my opinion, not only to the present, but to the future. And with this video that we're going to see, it's a piece that he calls Verker, which means wounds. And he has dedicated it to the situation in Artsakh, which unfortunately remains a hot topic even at the moment. But let's now enjoy this beautiful moment in the studio, Mikhail Voskanyan playing Verker. Thank you so much to Mikhail. He's a singer, a composer. I had the great honor to meet him at the 2018 Smithsonian Folk Festival in Washington, D.C. And that was a very, very moving performance. Thank you, Mikhail. We'll move on now to a Kurdish Alevi singer based in London. Her name is Suna Alan, and she's originally from Bingöl. Now, when I hear the name of this town, Bingöl, it reminds me of this song that I learned from my father, and he learned it from the singers in Hayastan. And it just, again, reminds us how we have so much in common. We share lands and food and dress and, of course, music. She's going to sing two songs, one in Kurdish, one in Armenian, but we'll let her tell you a little bit more about it. But we're very happy that she made this video specifically for this project. So let's now watch Suna Alan.
Hi everyone, I am Suna Alan, a Kurdish Alevi singer based in London. I would like to state that I'm much honored to be invited to perform at the 20th anniversary of Armenian Institute. Being born in Bingöl, a Kurdish and ancient Armenian city, being named as Sona, and knowing that my grandparents live with Armenian neighbours within the same village, they shared the same food, dance and music. I have always felt that I've got Armenian roots. And tonight I'll be performing two songs. The first one is Bedeva Yerivane, the beauty of Erivan. And I found this Kurdish song within the archive of Kurdish Voice of Radio Yerevan. The lyrics of the song says, the dark-eyed of Yerevan, the beauty of Hayastan, the rose of spring and autumn, I admire you.
من حيران
next song is an Armenian folk song, Nubar, and the lyric says, "The sun is shining on the mountains. Nubar walks towards the moorland. Whoever sees my Nubar cannot forget her anymore." Nubari poyi chinare, achkerunu shukhumare, yere korvalus nineman, unkeru keru kamare. Nubari poyi chinare, achkerunu shukhumare, yere korvalus nineman, unkeru keru kamare, yere korvalus nineman, unkeru keru kamare. Are sola sari karin, nubar kerda handu verin, ovortesni im nubarin, chimorana am poshtarin, nubari poyu chinare, achkerunu shukhumare, yere korvalus nineman, unkeru keru kamare, yere korvalus nineman, unkeru keru kamare.
Thank you so much, Suna. That was wonderful. Such beautiful singing. I don't know if anybody noticed, there was a book on that little table about Aram Tigran, who was a great Armenian singer of Kurdish music, maybe the most famous singer, who unfortunately passed away a few years ago. That was wonderful. Again, thank you, Suna, so much. We move on to a very dear friend of mine. He's an incredible singer, oud player, and composer. His name is Haig Yazdjian. He was born in Syria, but has been living in Athens, Greece for, I think, most of his life, has a beautiful family, and has really become so popular. And I met him in 1995 when I first started going to Greece. Of course, you know how Armenians will find each other, and he made it a point to find me, and we bonded immediately. The next time we were together was in 2002 in Thessaloniki, Greece. There was an oud summit meeting where 12 oud players from around the world were asked to come and represent their countries. And he was on the first night and I was on the last night, and I joked with him, our egos, you know, I said, oh, they put you on to make sure the people come, and they put me on to make sure the people stay. Of course, we had a good laugh about that, but he's my dear friend. I love him and respect him so much that at my own concert at the Palace Theater in Athens in 2012, I asked for two guests. I wanted Eleftheria Arvanitaki, the great Greek singer, and I wanted Haig Yazdjian. And I was asked, you're an Armenian oud player. Why do you want another Armenian oud player as your guest? And I said, because he's great, and I love to hear him sing and play the oud. And so I'm just very proud that he is joined in this project. And so let's now listen to Haig sing a couple of songs, one in Arabic and one in Armenian. Ladies and gentlemen, Haig Yazdjian.
فوق يابا فوق النخل فوق مدري لا مع خندا يابا مدري القمر فوق فوق النخل فوق يابا فوق النخل فوق مدري لا مع خندا يابا مدري القمر فوق والله ما اريد باليني في قلوان سلم عليهم عليهم صعبان الفرجان يابا اشتقنا إليهم إليهم والله ويا مجرى المي يابا سلم عليهم عليهم صعبان الفرجان يابا اشتقنا إليهم إليهم والله معذبني بعيونه الحلوة Στασάκης, Πέτρος Μαρτακούρης, Νίκος Σιδροκαστρίτης.
Well, wasn't that great? Thank you so much, Haig. Now you see why I love that guy? We now go to another incredible person and musician, Erdal Erzincan. He is a Turkish Alevi bağlama player, singer, and composer. In 2013, I was doing some very intimate concerts with Sezen Aksu. And she decided that she wanted a guest or two with each concert, and Erdal was chosen as one of the guests. And I did something that I never have done in the past. I went into his dressing room just before the concert. Now, I don't speak Turkish. He doesn't speak English. But I went in there because I admired him so much, and I had my oud, and I sat down next to him, and he looked at me, and I played a little phrase on my oud, and he quickly grabbed his bağlama, and he answered my phrase, and for the next 10 minutes, we just started having this musical dialogue, back and forth, looking at each other, smiling, until somebody came in the dressing room and basically said, hey, you got to get ready to go on stage. But we kind of looked at each other with the understanding that we hope to continue this in the future. And sure enough, a couple of years later, when I was in Istanbul, he invited me to, he has a school, a music school, and I went there with my oud, Again, he doesn't speak English. I don't speak Turkish. We sat down together, and so help me, we just started playing for 5 hours without stopping. And after about 5 hours, I started to laugh, and I stopped, and I made an indication that I was hungry. And he kind of laughed, thought that was kind of cute, you know. And so we went outside, and it turns out just outside his school, there's a store that sells baglamas, a big instrument store with his name on it. So I'm noticing that. And standing outside of that store was an old man, and Erdal walked up to that man and bent way down and kissed his hand. And I was told that that's Erdal's father. Now, I'm an Armenian, but I'm born in America. We don't bend down and kiss our father's hands like that. But I was so moved at the grace and the respect and the tradition and the selflessness in the act. It just made Erdal Erzincan an even bigger man in my eyes. So we ate, and then we went back to his school and continued playing for another couple of hours. Now, again, because I don't speak Turkish, sometimes I say the wrong thing. And I had been told that the word abi means brother. So at some point during that session together, I said something along the lines of Erdal abi. And there was great shock, because apparently abi means big brother, and I'm significantly older than him, but I didn't mean disrespect. But it's an example of how when music is being played, there is no misunderstandings. There's a complete unity and a reminder of what it is to be a human being. And that's kind of what this entire program is all about. Let's now listen to Erdal Erzincan, the great man and baglama player and singer. Here he is.
Gam elinden benim zülfü siyahım, gam elinden benim zülfü siyahım, peykan değdi sinem, yaralandı gel, vah beni beni. Suna başın için ağlatma benim, bugün sevda candan aralandı gel. Suna başın için ağlatma benim, bugün sevda canda aralandı gel. Gamdan hisar oldu mekanım yurdum, gamdan hisar oldu mekanım yurdum. İşitmez avazım, dinlemez virdim. Vah beni, beni. Bir değil, beş değil, 10 değil derdim. Düğümler baş verdi, sıralandı gel. Bir değil, beş değil, 10 değil derdim. Düğümler baş verdi, sıralandı gel. Pir Sultan Abdalım haftada ayda, Pir Sultan Abdalım haftada ayda. Günler gelir geçer, bulunmaz fayda. Vah beni, beni. Gönül hak arzular, canım hay hayda. Toprağım üstüme kürelendi gel. Gönül hak arzular, canım hay hayda. Toprağım üstüme kürelendi gel.
You know, listening to that, I just have to say that my thoughts go back to when I was a child, even before that New York World's Fair thing. As a 2 or 3-year-old, I remember hearing music and being so affected by it, not really understanding how or why, but just that it's touching me. And I'm 63 now, and I hear what Erdal just sang, even though I don't understand the words. I feel the humanity in it. I feel the emotion, the depth. If anything, the effect that music has on me is only growing, and I suppose that's the same for so many of us. Anyway, thank you, Erdal. We're honored to have you participate in this project. Our next singer is Noora Shakur. She's a wonderful Palestinian Arab singer based in Jerusalem. She's collaborated with many artists, including, significantly, Coldplay. How's that for a resume? She has prepared a medley of Arabic songs specifically for this event. So now let's all listen to Noora Shakur.
Hello, this is Noora and this is Charlie, and we are live from Bethlehem, Palestine. We're going to sing a couple of Arabic Middle Eastern songs, so I hope you enjoy the show. طلوا حبابنا طلوا نسم يا هوا بلادي بين ربوعنا حلوا ضحكة زهرات الوادي وعالفيات غنينا وعالميات تلاقينا وهالأغصان ما حلوا ينسانا الطير الشادي. نحن حكايات في باله بينا نغمات موالو، في باله بينا نغمات موالو. واما النسمات تحلاله بين الغابات بينادي، تحلاله بين الغابات بينادي. طلوا حبابنا طلوا نسم يا هوا بلادي، بين ربوعنا حلوا ضحكة زهرات الوادي. وبالفيات غنينا وعالميات تلاقينا، وهالأغصان ما حلوا ينسانا الطير الشادي. بعدك على بالي يا قمر الحلوين، يا زهر بتشرين، يا ذهب الغالي. بعدك على بالي يا حلو يا مغرور، يا حبق ومنتور على سطح العالي. مرق الصيف بمواعيده والهوى لملم عنا ايده. مرق الصيف مواعيده والهوى لملم عنا ايده. وما عرفنا خبر عنك يا قمر، ما حدا لوح لنا ايده. وبتمر الليالي بتروح الليالي، بعدك على بالي على بالي. بعده أليف بعدك ظريف، بعده بيعني لك مثل الخريف. خبرني إن بعدك بتحن، ما بعرف ليش عم بحكي ولا كيف. يمكن لا صاروا بعاد، وهو حكياتي هو حكي ولاد. لكن كله ما عم يمنع اشتاق لك، مدام كل سنين في خريف. تسع شهور وانتي حاملتيني، بعد تعبت كتير لتربيني، وعذبتك كتير لتطعميني، وضاعت الترباية فيني يا مو يا مو يا مو يا ست الحبايب يا مو يا مو يا مو يا ست الحناين يا مو. يا ما بردتي يا ما لتدفيني، يا ما جعتي يا ما لتطعميني، وكم جوز جرابات رقعتيلي، وكل هالشي ما بين فيني يا مو يا مو يا مو يا ست الحبايب يا مو يا مو يا مو يا ست الحنايب. La la la la la la la la la la la la la. صغيرة كنت وانت صغيرون حبنا بدا بنظرات العيون قالوا ترى ذولا يحبون من الصغر لما يكبرون صغيرة كنت وانت صغيرون حبنا بدا بنظرات العيون قالوا ترى ذولا يحبون من الصغر لما يكبرون مثل النجمة والقمر كبر حبنا والزهر بعيونك حبيبي نبتدي دروب السفر لا لا لا لا لا لا لا لا لا لا لا لا لا لا. عالمايا عالمايا على عيني يا ملايا يا بنية بالله سقيني عطشان سقيني المايا يا ويل ويل عيونها عيون المايا عيونها واندبلتني جفونها تدغدغني الحنايا هلا لا لا ليا وهلا لا لا ليا عيني يا لبنية يا نار قلبي شعلي وشوي لحمنية البنت قالت لما يما ظلمتيني أول عريس إجا ليش ما أعطيتيني تاني عريس إجا دينه على ديني تالت عريس إجا لا روح له وحدية يما مويل الهوى يما مويلية ضرب الخناجر ولا حكم الناذل فيا. Thank you for watching.
I saw on the chats that a lot of you were commenting on what a beautiful voice Noora has. Of course, I agree, and I wonder how many of you noticed that the guitar player was playing a right-handed guitar left-handed, but without switching the strings, so in essence, upside down. That was quite amazing. That was beautiful, and thank you, Noora, for participating. Our next performer, it's something very special for me. Eleftheria Arvanitaki has been one of the top singers in Greece for forever. I'll just tell you my background with her. About 30 years ago, a friend of mine came back from a vacation in Greece and said, "Hey, you know, your song is very popular in Greece." I said, "What song? What are you talking about?" He said, "I heard it in a taxi." I said, "Well, who was singing it?" He said, "Oh, I don't know, some lady." Well, that didn't help me. So I got in the car and I drove to Astoria, New York, which is where all the Greeks lived at the time. And I went to their record store and I started to whistle this tune. And immediately the cashier said, "Oh, yes, Arvanitaki, Arvanitaki." I said, "Okay." So I bought the CD and got very angry because she had recorded 2 of my songs. And I didn't know anything about it. And apparently this CD was very popular. And I'm struggling here, you know, raising a family. But sure enough, a couple of months later, I get a phone call from Greece. It's Eleftheria Arvanitaki. She introduces herself and says, "You know, I recorded a couple of your songs and I would like some more songs from you. And my first reaction was, well, you have a lot of nerve asking for more songs. You still haven't taken care of the first couple. She said, no, of course we did. We did everything legitimate through the record companies. And, you know, she sent me a fax immediately during that phone call to show the correspondence between her record company and my record company. It turns out my record company was not doing things properly. So with that cleared, she invited me to Greece, and this is in 1993. I brought a cassette. Back then it was cassettes. I brought a cassette filled with compositions, hoping that she would buy one. So here I am in her home with her family and her agents and her hairstylists and her record company people and her publishers and the musicians and everybody. And I don't speak Greek, and I feel like I don't know what I'm doing here, but they put the cassette on, and it's like an hour and a half of music. And they listened, and then they said, can we play it again? And they played it again. And I'm sitting there wondering, what are they thinking? And they decided that they wanted to do her next CD of all of my compositions. This was a turning point in my life, because instrumental music, no matter how wonderful some of us think it is, doesn't get the same reach as when a singer sings your song. So she indeed recorded an entire CD of my compositions. It was called Ta Kormia ke Ta Maheria, which means the bodies and the knives. And it wound up going double platinum in Greece. And we established not only a great working relationship, but a very close personal friendship. And she literally changed my life. So when Armenian Institute asked me if I would call her, I called her, and she immediately said, sure, Ara. And I told her, you could just sing anything you want. You know, the idea is for you to represent the Greek people. And it turns out the next two videos you'll see are two of my pieces, those very first two that she had recorded. So here, let's now watch Eleftheria in two videos that she made just for this event. My dear sister Eleftheria Arvanitaki, if you're watching this, I can't thank you enough. It's such an honor to have you participate. Thank you so much. And I want to thank all of the musicians that have participated in this event. We're not over, we're not done, we still have a lot more, but it's really something. That first song that she sang, Dinata, she sang at the 2004 closing ceremonies of the Athens Olympics in front of millions of people. It was something I don't think I will ever forget. She truly is an icon, and I love her, and thank you so much. The next performers their name is Collective Medz Bazar. They're a group in France made up of Armenian, Turkish, French, and American musicians. They, I think, represent exactly what this event is all about. They represent exactly what I believe in. And the piece that we're going to watch now, it's actually an incredible video with a very powerful message. It's an anti-nationalist anthem for intercommunal unity and reconciliation, something that we desperately need. The song is sung in several different languages. It's called Vodki, which means stand. And I'm very proud to have them participate in this event. And see if you could spot my old friend Arto Tunçboyacyan in the video. Let's now watch Collective Medz Bazar's Vodki.
Ganglazın sarı lancin, vay lo lo lo, vay le le le. Ususi bargang myasin, vay le le, sırtı dere.
Ինչ եղավ, ծերցավ մերցավ, հազարը զոհվեցավ, արդյոք քանին արտնցավ, աչքդ պած, աչքս թած, ոտքի ինչ մնաց, ոտքի տագեն ինչ կնաց, գրագը մարե, զիս մշմար է, իղծդ գադար է, վախդ կեզ մե դգար է, սայնըտ լուր, Cerkıt dur, tun yes mermi çevinç tesakur.
Senin gibi olmayanın gözünün içine bakıp da seversin diye korkup bakmanı engelleyenlere karşı. Kim tıktı ağzına bu hakaretleri, kim sıkıştırdı bu silahları eline? Öldürme sözle mermiyle insan madem sorunları her gün kendine. Asılar yalanları seni hipnoz etti, sana dayatılan tüm kutsalları unut. Düşmanını yanılma, düşmanın ortak düşleri yıkanlar aslında. Her barış dediğinde susturulduğun için nefret yerine sevgi ekenler ile, yaşamı çoğaltanlar ile, Hrant'ın ruhu ile.
Ganglazın sarı lancin, vay lo lo lo, vay le le le. Ususi bargang myasin, vay le le, sırtı dere.
So much hate, stand. We suffocate, stand. My ghost, your fate, some things you can't exterminate.
Stand.
He screams in your ear.
Stand.
I'll sing to your fear.
Stand.
Won't dry my tears until you see you need me here.
Stand.
Bury that axe.
Stand.
Bury those flags.
Stand.
Mighty national rags, they'll always stab you in your back.
Stand.
Name the names.
Stand.
This is not a game.
Stand.
No, they're not all the same. We're here to wake up, not to shame.
Ayaklan.
Usandık artık nefretinizden, ranta savaşa, silaha, bayrağa, paraya, pula, köle bu düzenden.
Vodki.
Ne için bunca kan? diye bile soramadan ezberlediğimiz bu marşlar ve duaların hepsi birer yalan. Nasıl büyür bu çocuklar, nasıl bakarız birbirimize? Ah, gün açmazsa bu dağlar, bu toprak kime yarar? Hatırla geçmişi, susma, aç gözlerini. Hatırla mesele yaşamak insanca ve birlikte. Bu direniş bizim. Bu direniş bizim.
La raison c'est pas que nous faisons, quelle est cette danse que nous dansons? Je ne reconnais aucune mélodie, tout n'est que ténèbres et bruit. Dans un fracas assourdissant, vous faites taire toute envie. Vos bombardements incessants ont pris tant de vie. Je n'entends que ces avions, ces ournas me donnent le bourdon. Les balles sifflent un air affreux, votre conquête sonne creux. Vos paroles ne sont que des cris, vos cris ne sont que des coups qui nous emportent dans le lit de la rivière des fous.
Անցրևիչով չուր բարձրացավ մեջը հույսս ընկղմեցավ հրդինքի մեջ հոգին ելավ մեկ աչքը երևը կորսը հեցավ հարյուր մերավ, հազար մերավ սրտեմ իվար կյանքի համար հարյուր մերավ, հազար մերավ սրտեմ իվար կյանքի համար մեկ մեզի ուժելու ես քեզի սիրելու թող ինձի հարկելու մենք մեզի ապրելու անոնք մեզի խաղցնելու մենք մեզի ապրեցնելու Նանդազն սարի լանջին վայ լոլոլո վայ լելելե ուսուսի բարյանք միասին վայ լելե իմ սրտին گردش روزگار که از کثرت خلق تنگ آمدم در جا شدم سر به سنگ آمدم بیا تا سری در سر خم کنی من آها تو من همه گم کنی مغنی نوای دگر ساز کن دلم تنگ شد مطرب آواز کن
Wow. So, of course, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. And when I just think now about this video we watched by Collective Medz Bazar, and I think about the composition, the performance, the recording, the message, the video, I can't find a weak link. That was an incredible experience. And we thank them for participating. We thank them for their message. We agree with their message. And it reminds me of a very important word that I've been kind of obsessed with for many years now, and that word is coexist. I personally don't believe we need to change anybody's opinion about anything, but for sure we need to learn how to coexist. Simple as that. And I think the musicians that you've watched tonight have found a way to coexist and actually go even further. And it's that great gift of music that allows us to figure out ways to do that. It's one of the reasons why I'm proud to be a musician. And I guess I should now introduce the final set of videos, which is by my own group. It's called The Secret Trio. People ask, why is it called The Secret Trio? And the truth is, we didn't have a recording contract or any jobs. We just started getting together in my room, actually right here in my basement. And we just made music for ourselves without consideration of anybody, just what we play to make ourselves happy. And it's sort of like we're letting you in on our secret, our little secret club. I'm proud to say that the members of the group are Tamer Pinarbaşi, he plays the kanun, he's from Turkey, and Ismail Lumanovski, who plays the clarinet, he's from Macedonia. And luckily, they live very close to me, and besides great musicians, they're my dear friends. And we made these videos specifically for this event. So of course, I wanted to choose things that were appropriate. The first video is a medley of Gomidas's Erengi. And then we go into a medley of the folk dance Enzeli, which I added a whole nother composition, kind of blended it in together, which I call Triumph. And the second video, it once again explains how we shared not only land and weather and food and costume, but we shared music. And I've become bored about whose song is this, who originated this. To me, it's a geographic thing. The music came from this specific spot, and it has a certain feel, a certain tempo, a certain mode. And so the second video, the medley, is of Yerevan Parem Arel, or Sargelin, or it's known by several other titles, depending on the language. Then mixed with Ağır Ketye Dilemin, which is Kurdish, or Siroyerk, which is Armenian, or again, you name it, but it all comes from the heart, and I hope you like it. So here's The Secret Trio. come to the end of the program. Again, I'm honored to have hosted it. I thank the Armenian Institute for the good work that they do. And I ask the viewers, if you agree with the ideas, please support the Armenian Institute. And I will let the others now do the closing. Thanks again.
Arajan, where do we start? I'm sure everyone like me cried, smiled, danced and sang during this magical journey. You took us all over our lands and Middle East and Anatolia. Thank you so much. Thank you from your generosity, your talent, your kindness and your wise words. It's been an honor to host you, Ara. And thank you to all the musicians who joined, all the musicians who are with us now on Zoom call, whoever is watching later on. It's been an absolute privilege to share your music with our audiences. I would like also to thank to all our supporters. I've been enjoying music and also enjoying seeing our donations coming in. So thank you very much for that and keep them coming. And I'm sure you were all distracted during music, but now it's a good time to click on the link because donations, even the smallest donations, allow us to stage events like this, and incredible amount of work went behind this. You've already met my wonderful colleague, Nick Matthew, who is our program manager. I would like to introduce you to more of my colleagues. Let me spotlight them so you see how beautiful Armenian Institute team is, of course. And I would like to introduce to my two very talented colleagues, Anushka Berberian and Olivia Melkonian, who want to say a few words themselves. Nush, do you want to go first?
Yeah. Guys, that was an amazing event. I've got to say, it definitely hit me hard. And as Tato mentioned, I went on an emotional roller coaster. I'm sure all of you shared the same. But yes, here at Armenian Institute, we're responsible for a lot of things behind closed doors, including one of our publications, which is our biannual publication, which is Zanazan. And our second copy is coming out soon. And we have been busy designing and putting all the articles in it. And without your help, we can't do this. So we really appreciate every little bit you guys give us because, yeah, it is going to be something that will be good to read. And hopefully if you guys I think you can register for the newsletter and stay tuned when it comes out and you can read that. So yeah, and another thing I'm going to pass over to Olivia to talk about is our podcast, which she has been amazing at. And she's been doing the whole thing, recording, getting all the different artists to talk about different things. We do a lot of things over there. I'll hand over to you and you can tell everyone about it.
Thank you, Nush. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. It's been a really beautiful event and such a delight to share it with you all. Arajan, thank you so much for your time. It's such an honor to be in your presence and to work with you. And today we actually released a podcast, which was in conversation with Ara, our wonderful director Tatovic, and our dear friend and great supporter Richard Anushian. And yeah, I just wanted to say really it's such a blessing to be involved in this project and engage in work like this to preserve and sustain our rich and shared culture. So please do check out our podcast. I'm going to put the link in the chat. And yeah, please do support us for our 20th anniversary fundraiser and just, become a friend and stay in touch with us. We love widening our family and sharing everything that we connect with. So thank you so much. And yeah, we've got one more treat for tonight.
Thank you, Olivia and Anushka. I want to say a few words about all the things these donations will be spent on. We're organizing our library now. Many of you know that we've just moved to a new, beautiful space, and our library has been in a storage for years and years. Now it's being catalogued. We have very rich, very valuable community archives. They're being organized, catalogued, and looked after by our fantastic colleague Shaika, who is watching now, sending lots of love to Shaika. We just made a fantastic discovery last week in the archives about Misha Kudian and concerning Narekatsi. A big announcement is coming this week. We're organizing events, as you know, a wide variety of events. Within next 2 months, we're obviously holding this event. We had a book club last week. We are holding a very important town hall conversation hosted by our own Tatiana Deravedisyan, who you met. We're going to have an online exhibition and hopefully Khachapuri making event with our Georgian friends and more. We're also publishing a magazine, like Anushka mentioned, releasing a very wide variety of podcasts. Check our website. And we have a very busy language courses as well. So everything you donate goes to all these fantastic causes, connecting community together, keeping our culture alive, vibrant, and relevant. But I'll stop talking now, because if this was a real in-person concert, you'll be shouting and booing at me and you were saying, we want more. And I think we want more. So one more from Ara, and thanks again. Thanks for all the donations. Keep them coming. Oh, and everyone who donates gets a copy of Zanazan. So please keep donating. Anushka is nodding. Am I right? Okay, good.
Yeah, go for it. You got to do it.
Now I've said it. We've got to do it. Keep donations coming, and I'll now take our spotlights off for last one. Ara, if you want to say a few words.
Yes, of course. Thank you to everyone at the Armenian Institute. Thank you to all the musicians and singers, participants, and thank you to all the viewers and supporters. I think together we might be able to do something that's lasting and that's valuable. This last little bonus piece, call it an encore, came to me over 35 years ago, came to me as if it was already there. That's why I don't call myself a composer, more a song finder. As if it's already there, I just have to try to find it. And what's interesting about this song is that many different cultures have claimed it as theirs. And I've come to think that maybe they're all right. Maybe it doesn't belong to anybody. Maybe it belongs to all of us. But it's been recorded in Turkish, in Greek, in Hebrew, in Armenian. It's called Picture, Ağladıkça, Menoektos, Zehazman Lizloa, and many other names. But it's a very simple melody, but one that hopefully connects with your human side. Again, thank you for everything, for all of your support. Thank you to the Armenian Institute for the good work they do, and we hope you continue to support them. Thanks, everybody.